It's the Minnesota Pubcast. Here we are, live at O'Gara's again. How are you tonight? Is it weird? You can't hear the music? It's freaking you out? Yeah, it's freaking me out.
I don't believe
they can
you.
hear it. I bet they can. You know what? You can find it on the way home if this worked or not. But I want to make sure we fade around for the old 30 seconds so I don't get yelled at.
It might all of a sudden just be you talking, which is a very underproduced show.
That would be. That would sound pretty lame. I agree with you.
We'd be going along with the minimalist movement.
And we are not down with that, right? I thought we have decided we are not okay with the minimalist movement.
I feel like my house is kind of minimalist, like from a decorative standpoint. Well, I have a lot of crap, though. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, we have a lot to get into. We want to talk some whether or not we want to go to Mars. There's a contest right now. There's your hookup right there.
Hi.
Like I said, we are
Could
live
I have
at
a
O'Gara's,
Magners,
so
please?
we've got to order our beer
Thank you so
as
much.
we do the show, as we like to.
What are you drinking tonight, Jason?
And we should always mention that as well. Because I didn't ask, and I just was in a hurry and walked in. I'm like, you know what? She even said she was a hop dish as usual.
She just said beer.
Well, I could have just said beer me apparently because she knew what I wanted. But yeah, I'm drinking the Liftbridge Hop Dish, a local IPA, a very good IPA actually too. And it's just for me, it's a staple. It's a go-to whenever Summit Saga is always a go-to for me if I'm not sure what else to drink. Deschutes Fresh Squeezed is my favorite IPA out right now. So those are the ones that I stick with. But I like that you asked what we're drinking today because we are on the cusp. In fact, Hop Slam just came out here today. We have it down at Bergamo's. We're on the cusp of the spring seasonals, and then we're on to the summer seasonals, and that means the warm weather's coming.
I did see, and this isn't a craft beer thing, and you'll hate me for this, but Liney's was promoting their shandy. They were like, "There's a shandy out somewhere."
They're already talking about the
They
shandy.
are. I was like, it's a little soon to be talking about the shandy, but maybe people are just getting. Maybe it's like getting people excited.
No, and I like that. I mean, today I put baseball on one of the TVs at work too, just because I'm like.
Did you cry?
And golf. Yes, I did a little. But I like that we're almost there. I mean, it is only February, but we're getting to where we're almost done with this. And I think that, and I love as a beer drinker that the beer goes with it. The beer goes with the seasons for me.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, and I'm so sick of drinking dark beer. Like I don't even want a dark beer or a porter or any of that stuff anymore. The winter lagers, any of it.
At the beginning of when November, December hits, I'm like, yeah, give me a Guinness.
Yeah.
All
I want is something dark.
It's so great, and I don't even like thinking about fall this time of year. Fall was one of my favorite times for any white girl. We love fall.
Why is that a white girl thing?
It's a total joke. But
that's a racial thing.
Fall, white girls love fall. That's the whole joke. It's like Uggs and PSLs and
the statement is not false. I did not say the statement was false.
I don't love fall that much, but I can't even think about fall because then it just transports me back to the time right before winter. And when you're nearing the end of winter, and when I say nearing, I mean we probably have a month and a half left, at least.
Easily.
I can't think of anything worse than starting it back over again.
Well, I usually hate fall anyway. Like, I hate those people in July. They're like, "Oh, I just can't wait for fall." Like, no, I'm enjoying these 2 months of warmth that we get. Like, just don't ruin it for me. And
shut up.
But again, though, to back on the beer thing, though, I love fall beers. Like, I love to start drinking dark beer when you start getting into that hoodie weather where that's all you need. You don't need to wear a jacket yet,
Yep.
but it's that's the weather.
The
that
hoodie weather.
I love hoodie weather.
I know.
Bonfire weather, same weather.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so what are you drinking? You're not drinking yet, but what did you order?
I ordered a Magners per usual.
That's become your staple here too, right?
That's kind of my staple at O'Gara's. We are at O'Gara's live if you're listening live.
And you can tonight. So there
good.
may be people listening live.
Good. Yeah, I'm drinking a Magners. That's one of my go-to ciders. It's not too sweet, and it's Irish, which automatically likes it more.
Well, especially if you're at O'Gara's. You
Exactly.
should be drinking
And
Irish
my
beer,
name
which
is
I'm not, of course. But
Molly Catherine Burke, and I'm on a show with Jason McGovern.
we are a couple of mix, aren't we? Jesus. And what do you typically? What is your favorite beer right now? I mean, it's a cider, right? Or do you drink anything else?
Man.
I mean, I know you can sneak them in there, but
I try all of the new kind of gluten-free beers that come on the market. And there are some good ones out there. Omission, I think they're out of Oregon. I'll have to double check that. Omission lagers are consistently good gluten-free beers. Some of them get a little strange.
Is that who makes Pyro?
Am
I thinking of? Or is that Burning Brothers?
That was Burning Brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks so much. No, that's Burning Brothers, and great local brewery. If anybody go back in our episodes, probably to episode, I don't know, 8 or 9.
Yeah, it's one of the early ones.
We had the brewmaster from Burning Bros on. He was awesome, cool guy.
All gluten-free brewery.
Yep. Yeah, and they don't promote it because did you think their beer their gluten? I'm gonna start saying gluten-free beer together.
Do you think their gluten tastes like beer?
Did you think it tasted gluten-free? I mean, did it taste weird to you?
No. If you had, I wish he hadn't told me. I wish it would have been one of those where a blind taste test or something because I wouldn't have been able to tell you that those weren't gluten. I mean, I didn't think you could make good beer without being gluten, but they have proven that you can.
You can.
And it doesn't have to be a cider.
Right. It does not have to be a cider, but. Angry Orchard, which is another one of my go-tos because you get a 6-pack for fairly inexpensive.
Now, what is fairly inexpensive for a 6-pack of cider? I don't ever look at
$8.
ciders. So. Okay, so it's like a 6-pack of IPAs.
Yeah,
of good IPAs.
Because there's I sometimes want to try the new ciders, the more craft ciders, smaller distributor than Angry Orchard, which is pretty big. But it runs, like $10, $11 for a 4-pack because it's very craft, small batches. And I just can't get myself to do it because I like Angry Orchard. But Angry Orchard has a new hop cider out.
Yeah, I have it in my fridge. I haven't tried it yet. It's in my fridge right now, though, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, just a sample from a vendor. But, yeah, I want to try it out.
Yeah, it's
Actually, Mo himself handed that one to me and said, this is one you should try.
Oh, is that how he talks?
It's exactly how he talks.
I like that.
We all talk like him all the time. Anyway, and this is something we should do, especially as we get into this changing season here. We should talk about what we're drinking because I feel like now on a patio, are you still drinking ciders or do you switch to like vodka tonics or something, or what are you drinking on a patio?
I go to lighter cocktails usually.
Okay. Gin,
a little fruitier.
Vodka.
I try if I can swing it. I try and stick to whiskey. But that's more like a lighter whiskey sour with more lemon in it or whatever, rather than kind of that heavier, foamy.
Whiskey to me doesn't scream
warm
weather drink.
It doesn't, but I get so effed up on vodka that I generally can't have it.
Smart.
So I do sangria. I do kind of different mixed cocktails, whatever they have a special of wherever I'm sitting, and I do a lot of Crispin, which is very light, a very very light cider, and that usually is served over ice. Which is perfect when you're sitting anywhere.
I can't imagine ice in my beer. That would piss me off. Unless you're doing one of those cocktails, which did we ever talk about that, the IPA cocktail?
I don't think we did.
I think we talked about talking about it, but I don't know if we ever actually talked about it.
I don't know if we did.
But now, is that something I know? Again, you don't drink beer, but would you drink an IPA cocktail?
I don't like IPAs.
Okay, you don't like. Well, but I think that it takes a little bit of that. To me, an IPA is just hops. Like, I mean, especially to a novice, it's like the most you're going to get out of it is hops, and the drink itself fixes that a little bit. Watch your face there.
I just
Jesus.
Slammed my face into the mic.
Well, at least your face is close to it. That's what you want. It's better than the opposite, where you're too far away.
Hello.
You can still hear you pretty well, though. That mic is actually very good at catching off mic. In fact, it can probably catch everybody at that table about 100 feet behind you, 50 feet behind you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's. I feel like getting a little. I don't know. Actually, this might not get deep at all, but it could be fun. But this competition. Okay, I don't even necessarily understand the competition. Maybe you can explain a little bit. And I got a couple of sound bites here.
Wait, Jason.
What?
Jason.
What?
You have a really big announcement to make.
Oh God, what?
You wanted to talk about something really important that just happened.
The topic A right now, the A story in the Twin Cities. I'm sorry, I almost skipped right past it.
He was so excited.
Well, this is how pumped I am about it. Yeah, this is how pumped up I am about it. I am definitely not in the majority of Minnesota Timberwolves fans that are extremely pumped up to be getting Kevin Garnett back. The trade was finalized today. We got rid of a guy that wasn't going to stay here anyway, so it was a decent move where at least you got something back for him. But, I mean, we got Torrey Hunter now on the Twins. We got Kevin Garnett back on the Wolves. I don't know what year it is. Is it like 2003? I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm 12 years younger, except for that the teams are still going to suck. So it really doesn't make any difference.
Why do you say that?
Well, the Twins are Vegas has them at the bottom of the league.
Vegas.
Vegas. like Vincent Vegas. And the Wolves are the worst team in the West right now, and Kevin Garnett is not going to change that. I mean, he's too old. He's not a game changer anymore. He's a complimentary player. The only thing that you get out of this is you get some tickets sold because you're going to get some people this year that are. And we do have these really good young kids too, so there's something to go watch now.
It's a building team, and then Kevin Garnett's the outlier. He's the old dude. Well,
exactly. He's the old dude, but maybe he can. He's a defense first, teamwork first guy. Maybe he can instill some things in some young kids. And I told my buddy today when the news came out, I would go see that first game.
Absolutely,
that would be awesome to see KG come back, but it's. Practically, or for any actual thing that's going to come out of this, there's not anything to come out of this. It's not going to help the Wolves. And Torrey Hunter, if anything, is going to be a liability for the Twins this year too. That outfield is not. They don't have enough range. You're going to see a lot of. You're already playing in a big park. You're going to see a lot of hits that wouldn't necessarily be hits because of Torrey Hunter and I can't remember the guy that we have in center field this year, but he is not necessarily known for his fielding. So what do you think? Are you pumped that we got KG back?
I think I'm a typical Minnesotan. I feel no, it's okay. How old is he?
No, I don't. He's probably 36. Okay, he's a little older than me.
He was. I feel like Minnesotans get really excited about people that we love coming back, no matter how much they suck. There's something. Well, our state in general, we're really loyal to where we live and to Minnesotans in general. I mean, we have a really strong pride of this state. We've talked about this many times in the show. And I think that's no different for our sports players.
Well, and we expect them to share it, even when they're not from here.
Totally.
KG's not from here. Torrey Hunter's not from here. What are you doing over there?
I don't know.
You have one thing to deal with right now is that microphone. You don't have anything else really in front of you.
Honestly, right now, my feet, my shoes are stuck together.
Literally?
Look it. Okay, I got them untangled.
Oh, your boot
my boot was hooped onto my other boot.
Another reason for the webcam.
My center of balance was off.
Wow.
Oh my god.
To get that webcam going.
Hang on. I got to fix this mic. Okay.
But no, you're right. I mean, I think that people they love Minnesota, and if you come back here, we love. I mean, even look at Favre. He wasn't from here. He wasn't one of ours. But the second he was here, we loved him, and I did too because he made that team into what it was. But I mean, there is something about. I like the Yankees and the Red Sox for this. That when a guy comes back that left, they boo him. Not necessarily coming back and joining the team.
Yeah, but you know why? Because they're winning teams. Those are winning teams. They have something to look forward to. We have nothing to look forward to besides some old retired. I was going to say motherfucker. That's a little harsh.
A little, yeah.
Because I love Torrey Hunter and I love KG, but
it's just nostalgic. That's all you get out of this. It's for nostalgia, and that's the only thing you get out of it.
And if we're never gonna move to the future, Jason, might as well live in the past.
Well, speaking of that too, did I mention on the show last night that we picked up the Packer that screwed up the
Yes.
Yeah, so we love to pick up the stuff off the trash heap of other teams is really what it is, too. Because that's the thing, too, is KG wasn't let go because, the Nets are a quality team that are going to make the playoffs. I don't know how good they are, but they're going to make the playoffs. So they're not dumping KG because they needed him. Like, obviously, they were totally willing to get rid of him, and same with Torrey Hunter. I mean, nobody wanted to pay him what he was asking for except for we would do it here because it's cool that he comes here because he started here.
Sure.
But it's that's the one thing I hate about our fans is they are so it's Minnesota nice. It's the actual real part of Minnesota nice.
Yay, you're coming back to us.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like that means anything.
Oh, yay. And does his return align with the Target Center's kind of renovation?
I thought they already did that.
No, the whole freaking thing's going to be renovated on the outside.
Oh, the outside. No, they did the inside, though, already.
Oh, they did the inside already?
I thought so. I mean, I know they did all the sound system years ago. I thought they did the inside years ago, too. Maybe they're doing the outside, too, but I don't know.
It's the $100 million renovation. Because the outside of that...
just destroy the place.
Okay.
$100 million? That's
Think about
crazy.
$100 million versus what is the Viking Stadium costing us?
No, but what did the Target Center cost to begin with? But it cost $200 million. $250 million. That was not an expensive building.
Yeah, but that thing is ugly as shit.
No, it is. The building itself is awful.
I'm all about making this. I just Googled 100 million renovation. Nothing
That'll
else.
narrow it down. Jesus.
Hang on, I'm
Any
Googling
food
it
or
right
anything
now.
there, kiddo?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you.
Here's what the Target Center will look like after its $100 million facelift. This was 2014, so it has definitely not happened yet. And, see, look at the outside. It's all glass.
Oh, wow.
Isn't
that
that
would
crazy?
look totally different.
That's good. I mean, it's going to
Holy
look...
shit.
Right now, if you guys have never seen the Target Center, if you're not from here, it is a hunk of concrete.
Yeah.
That spans...
It's a big white hunk of concrete.
Yeah, it spans a few city blocks. Or one or two city blocks.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's white concrete, and it has some blue and red on the outside.
It's never been about something to look at. That thing was never part of the skyline. It was never.
No.
It's not a signature landmark of Minneapolis. It's not like, Target Field's a gem. The Viking Stadium is going to be a gem. But the Target, but I thought Target Center, it's for basketball. It's like what they should have done, it's not about the outside with those buildings. Like the XL, it's not really that crazy looking from the outside. It's nice.
That's a nice building.
It's very nice, but it's the inside where they kill it, and they're the best arena in America for hockey. They in sound system wise, everything they're state of the art. But Target Center, I would spend that money on the inside. Get the inside better. Actually, spend that money on the team.
Well, I think they're doing both. I'm not going to spend $100 million on a basketball team. That's stupid.
Well, they do every year, I'm sure. Actually, I wonder what the Wolves' payroll is.
$43 million of that is coming from the Lynx and the Timberwolves, though. $5.5 million from the building manager, and $48.5 million is coming from the Minneapolis Coffers.
Nice.
Coffers.
So every time I go to Minneapolis, I'm paying for that $100 million rent. Well, $50 million of it.
Yep. And then the Mayo Clinic Square is already underway across the street. So, and that is looking great. That's almost finished.
Now, does it say anything in that about is Block E now the twin or the Wolves training center?
Block E is now Mayo Clinic Square. That's what they're calling it.
That is Mayo Clinic Square.
Yes, they've completely essentially changed Block E into what is owned by the
Block
Mayo.
E could not figure out a way to work.
No, and it was
worked.
Disgusting looking. And Block E is more obvious than Target Center. Target Center is tucked back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's on First Ave. It's kind of back. It's back by my office actually, which is why I noticed it so much. But you don't see it when you come downtown, and if you're visiting, you probably aren't going to pass it unless you go see First Avenue.
You don't think about the Target Center unless you're going to it.
Right, exactly. The Mayo Clinic Center is right on Hennepin Avenue, right in the theater district, in the busiest part of the city, and that needs some work. And Mayo Clinic is doing a great job at redoing it. It's really cool, modern, glass, black, and that's going to be the big orthopedic center. So.
Okay. Well, if anybody's got money to put in there too, Mayo would.
Yeah. Thankfully that's a Mayo-funded project, and I think it's going to good use because we're having now, not only is the building look great and businesses are still in the bottom of the building, we have the top research facility in the world for orthopedic medicine, I believe. So.
You know what? I don't have a segue to take us into Mars, so we just have to take a quick break.
Space, man.
Life in space, man. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we will get into life on Mars right after this.
The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment. Part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the RustyGatenbyReview.com. Part of the Alive and Social Network.
Remember the weight of the world, it's a sound.
Oh, I feel weird. It is so strange coming back to a show with the bump that you don't know is playing or not.
Oh, wow. I was like, what did you just do about your computer there?
Oh, no, not that kind of bump. No, I have my phone. Welcome back. I gotta fade this out. God, these fades are gonna sound good, but I can't even hear them. Well, you will assume that my years and years of doing that we'll just we'll rely on that.
Will you play this so that we can? You can't play that?
This doesn't work either.
Oh, my gosh.
We're running on board B today, guys, again, and that therefore
Board
I can't
B.
do a lot of things
What
that
if-
I normally
what if
could,
we just
like sound effects.
clicked
and
it?
whatnot. You might be able to put up to your mic.
Let's see.
That'll sound real good.
Oh, it's going to sound so bad. Let's see. It's not even working. Oh, my God.
Oh, I
It's
can
an
hear that.
advertisement. Damn,
Okay,
it's an advertisement.
That's what we want to hear.
Oh, God. Oh,
One of our best podcasts
I
ever,
think so.
by the way.
our production value is... All right, ready?
Remember, the microphone's actually down here.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
I might have you play the bumps the rest of the show.
You like this? Mortar and Scully.
This
is that it? Is that the names?
Scully for sure. I don't know. I never watched the X-Files, actually.
It was
I'm one
a
of the
great
few
show.
people that never watched it.
I love David. What's his face?
David.
The actor.
Oh, Duchovny. I'm
Yeah,
like,
David Duchovny.
for some reason, I did not think of that as his first name for a second.
He's
all
such
right.
a nut job.
Well, that theme brings us back into the pubcast live here at O'Gara's. You saw something about this show. Well, no, it's not a show. What is this whole competition? How is this working out?
So-
It started out with like I don't even know how many people to begin with.
Right. It's called Mars One, and it is a project that is sending 4 people to Mars for forever. And forever. And the goal is to colonize Mars, or at least get up there, start some sort of Earth-like structure where people can live and die, and explore Mars and learn more about the planet, and possibly have it be second option for us if we fuck this place up.
Now, so from what you read, do you have to be a scientist?
Do
you have to have some kind of knowledge
I
here?
don't think. I think that they're probably gravitating towards people who are very intelligent and who can handle all sorts of different types of science, whether it's biology, chemistry, astrophysics. I mean, you have to be smart in order to do this. I don't think that they're picking just scientists, though. But some of the people I've seen are down to. They are biophysicists. Or
Yeah, it seems like they at least had knowledge. I mean, if you want to go to Mars, you probably are at least interested in space. I mean, whatever.
Absolutely.
But doesn't mean you're qualified in any way, like educationally or whatever.
Right.
And it seems to me, it doesn't seem like these guys are. Now, this is going to be a little tricky because we do want to listen to this. But I'm going to have to. What I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to make it so we can't hear ourselves, but we will be able to hear the audio. So you bear with me, Molly. The listeners hopefully won't know a thing. But we're going to start out playing your favorite guy.
Oh, my God.
That is also trying to go to Mars.
Okay.
We will start by playing his clip right now.
Pi. Oh, yeah, not the pastry kind, the mathematical kind. So, I know 90 digits of pi. 3.1415926558979 323846264338379. We're going to be considering how to get from Earth to Mars. So, what we'll do, we'll start with not picking that.
Ryan, have you ever had sex?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to?
Not particularly. I don't have any desire to have sex. In fact, I've never actually kissed anyone before.
Have you ever masturbated?
Yes, but there's kind of
If you
there's a
include that-
scientific reason for that. But
What do you mean?
well, it raises your risk of prostate cancer if you don't. Minus g times the mass of the sun divided by r2. So this is the first velocity boost that we need to get onto our Hoffman transfer orbit. I think
all right,
the
you
most
get the
important
gist.
thing to do in life
I
is
can't
to
hear
leave a
myself,
legacy.
really, but...
A
You
lot
can't hear
of
yourself?
people do that
All right,
by
well, I got to turn those
having a child
headphones back
or
up. But I want to play. I want to play the gal that I saw on
Oh.
the later one that
Oh,
the
yeah.
story that you said today, and now they've got it narrowed
Yeah.
down to how many are we down to?
So the last time I watched that video, which we just heard the clip from, there were, I believe, maybe, 600 people left. I mean, there was
It
a
was
significant
hundreds,
amount.
yeah.
200,000 people applied originally, and they kept whittling it down. And just yesterday, they announced that they're down to 100. I don't know if the British guy made it or not, or anyone else I think the video was produced by The Guardian.
Okay, yeah.
Just so people have a direction to go with it if they want to Google it themselves. It's a really interesting watch. And now we're down to 100, and I saw 2 new people on CNN yesterday giving interviews that were officially selected as the 100 view.
And I grabbed one of them. I grabbed the female out of those 2. But first, we have to just talk about that first guy.
Yeah, so within the Guardian
you want
video.
to hang out with him for the rest of your life? You want to hang out with that guy for the rest of your life?
I mean, I found that video fascinating because you have 2 fairly seemingly normal individuals. One was an Iraqi woman who was a beautiful,
good looking woman.
Yeah, she was obviously very intelligent, really well spoken, an athlete, really in good shape. And
yes, she was.
Okay,
no, I'm sorry.
God, but she was also, what it seemed like from me, had really no connection, emotional connection to anybody. I mean, she talked about how her family, she left her family in Iraq to come to the U.S. and she didn't believe that she had any ability to love, or she didn't want anyone to love her. And then we heard from a man in Africa, and I can't remember what country, who was also very intelligent and who was more religious than any other people I'd seen, who was more like, I feel like this is God's mission for me, I'm supposed to go, but not like totally crazy. And then we heard from the British man, who is obviously probably brilliant.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't seem stupid.
No, but socially disabled.
Inept, yeah.
That, holy shit. I mean, it was like, these people also, on top of having to be intelligent, you have to be able to get along with others and communicate effectively with others. And so maybe on the basis of that, he was eliminated. I bet he's not even in the competition anymore.
I would imagine he was eliminated. But I just can't imagine.
Oh my God,
I can't imagine having a conversation with someone who has no desire to have sex. Now, that could also be a lie.
Well, I mean, it's almost but that's just a part of his social disorder, I think.
True. Yeah, I suppose.
There are people out there who
Are
don't.
you saying that he's just maybe become so used to his social disorder that he's given up on any hope for sex?
No, I think there's some disorders out there. I don't want to call it disorder because, hey, maybe that's you're so smart and you don't need to procreate. You don't need to have sex. That's fucking awesome.
Right,
good for you.
no.
You don't have to worry about it ever.
And we all have a disorder.
We do. But I think there are where they don't have a normal sex drive, and their social ability also hinders their emotional ability to become romantically attached with people.
That genius syndrome a little. Yeah.
Well, it's almost a form of autism. I mean, he's almost on the spectrum where
he's somewhere on a spectrum for sure.
Where if you're autistic, very autistic, a lot of people, like, they'll masturbate, but they don't have any need to have sexual relations with
that. But the autistic person isn't doing it for their prostate.
I think it's a lot of different reasons. No. There's a whole wide, but I'm just saying that almost sounds like a sign of a certain form of autism to me.
I had just never heard that as a reason.
I
mean, there's lots of reasons to take care of yourself. That was one I had not heard.
I mean, people who are asexual, because that's actually a thing, they will masturbate because it's just because they have to, because it's
genetically, or not genetically. What am I trying to say?
Well, I think they know just from a physical standpoint that's like something that you have to do. Mostly for men. I'm not talking as much for women.
You almost have to. Well, literally with men, you have to get out of your system.
Totally.
But with women, even maybe still there'd be a physical thing.
Right, and it's not a sexual or a fulfilling thing for them. It's just a science thing for them. Okay. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. I pulled some audio from this, from the chick that we think that made it now into, or we know made it into the next phase here as we whittle down to, what was the number again?
100 is left.
Well, what are they going down to? Is it 24?
24
total.
Man,
are going to be going there.
There's
that's
30.
Crazy.
That's insane.
That's fucking crazy.
There's 33 Americans out of the 100. I would assuming one of the, I don't know all the requirements, but I'm assuming you have to speak English or some sort of.
Yeah, there'd have to be a common language.
Yeah, there has to be, right?
And you wouldn't think a third of them would be American if that weren't one of the
Sure.
You know what I mean? That would have to be a pre-qualifier.
Sure.
But I mean, I've heard this, that even when they land airplanes in China, it's in English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so universal. We take that so for granted.
We do.
But it is the world's language, and we've forced it on them. And not just us. I mean, the British started it. All right, so let's get to my chick. Now, first of all, I would have some issues living with that guy that we just heard for the rest of my life with 22 other people, or 22 other people with us two. Ooh, well, that's gonna be a tough one. But this chick, now she's cute, so that redeems her a little. But she's not hot enough to be this crazy. I'll let you guys see what you say.
Why do you want to move there permanently?
This is an opportunity to become part of a legacy that stretches from Christopher Columbus and Magellan all the way to Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Mars is going to be the next giant leap for mankind. I can think of no more noble or exciting endeavor to be a part of.
Sonia, I read that as a child, your parents, one of the only shows they let you watch was Star Trek. Do you think this is the origin of your interest in space travel and moving to Mars?
Without a doubt.
That's it? That's why you're going? Because you fucking watch Star Trek? I'm not going with you. I am not going to Mars with you.
The most interesting thing about her is that she is married.
Yeah.
And
has stepkids.
And yes, or
and
kids or something.
10 years,
she
right?
said my kids.
This planned mission is not for 10 more years.
I think it's a ways
I don't
out.
believe they're actually leaving for a long time. So,
right.
I mean, that's another thing. How would you commit to that, right? Like, I'm single right now. You know, it would be easier for me to maybe right now, but my fucking luck, I would meet Miss Right, and there would be like some contract where you owe a shit ton of money or something if you drop out.
Yeah,
I would somehow get screwed out of that, but
right.
I would.
I wouldn't want to owe any money. Like, oh God, I'm gonna have to pay up. It's either that or Mars. I would just go into debt if I changed my mind. But
I did not like how how full of herself she was, though. Too like you're not Buzz Aldrin. You're not Columbus. Columbus wasn't Columbus, first of all. I mean, but just the way that she puts that to, like, no, you're just going to maybe get luckily picked to go on this mission. Like, you didn't train to be an astronaut. You didn't walk on the moon as one of the first people to do that because of all the training. And, like, you didn't help get people there. Like, literally, you're hitching a ride. You know what I mean? Like, you're not that special. You're going to be part of the first phase of something very special. That's true.
What if they all just go and they all just burn up in the atmosphere?
Well, oh my God, that's my first thought too. Is of course, that's
like
what
these
will
poor
happen.
people have they've been like, all right, we're saying goodbye and we're thank you. We're going forever, and then they don't even fucking make it.
Well, at least we know they're all prepared to die.
Totally.
So that part,
I mean,
you wouldn't feel as badly about them.
One of them's gonna die a pretty lonely death up there alone on Mars.
You mean the last one?
Yeah, the last one.
Well, they're gonna procreate, aren't they?
No, they're not allowed to have sex.
Bullshit.
That's what I'm
you
saying.
Can say
they're not allowed to have sex.
No, and that's fine. That could be a rule. But you get me to Mars, the fucking rules are all out the window. Like, what are you gonna do? Send me back? Like, what the fuck? Fuck you. I'm having sex if I want to. Like, I don't know. That's just it. This is gonna be the new real world. This should be the new real world. It should be. There should be cameras everywhere. 24-hour. TV
she
station.
Just died, by the way, the singer of that song. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
Who was the singer?
I don't remember her name. I
feel like I would know the name if I heard it.
I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
I didn't know it.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, she just passed away. Great song. I mean, do you feel like those people, there is crazy in them? I mean, are they crazy? And if you're that crazy to go, should they be going at all?
That's you're right. The first question should be, do you want to go to Mars? And if you say yes, you're disqualified. You know what I mean? It should be the people that say no. You go, all right, well, now let's do some hypotheticals. Let's say if you were on Mars, though. You know? But I think that's true. If you really realistically want to go live on Mars, you're probably a little nuts.
You have to be. I mean,
you have to be at least a little.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh man, I just can't fathom leaving my family. But I guess, you're part of you really are. I mean, as much as we kind of disagree with Sonia, you really are part of something incredible, and the whole world is going to be watching you. And as long as mankind's around, you probably won't be forgotten, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, this is going to be a huge, massive thing that we're doing as humans. So I kind of get that. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, wow, like that's a big deal. I mean, we're never going to forget Neil Armstrong,
But I don't want anybody to...
And all the guys that did the first
I just don't want anybody to go because they're going to be known. That's not the reason to go.
But I think that's part of it. But that's a huge part of it is you have to want to be a part of history, and you have to want to be so you have to want to bring humankind to the next step.
I would love to talk to, the Vikings, the actual first people over here, or even the people that came over from Asia when the ice
or
was
American
melted,
Indians, or Native Americans,
and
or
Native
Indians,
Americans,
however they prefer to be called. But
more, my point being the explorers, the ones that are trying to find the new land,
right?
Like
Columbus.
I don't like saying Columbus because he's given all the
such a
credit
shit.
when he didn't do as much as
And
people
he
give
just
credit
murdered
for.
everybody.
And there was a lot of genocide and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
just a bit,
just a little. But my thing is more was he doing it because he wanted to get rich? Were the Vikings doing it because they were looking for wealth? Or were they doing it because they were,
No.
we're going to find new lands for
No,
humanity?
I think they wanted to. I think they wanted to find. I mean, that's what explorers are. I think there's a part of them that wants to be the first to find something and to plant something and to do something.
You think they do it just for that? That's enough?
I think that's a big part of it.
I mean, because I'm no explorer. I just literally I can't think of anything that I've been like, I have to see every part of that. So
whether you like it or not, Columbus and a lot of people were forced to go with him. But that was a pretty brave thing. I mean, you have to have a lot of ego.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he
did. He thought he could get us to the other side of the world faster.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have a lot of ego. You have to be very intelligent. You have to be very brave. And you also have to have a lack of emotion in some way because, like those people that are going to Mars, they don't feel like they can love anybody. So they're like, well, I don't care. I'm not leaving anybody behind,
No, and you're right. He definitely had the ego, too, because you were so egotistical that you were looking for the West Indies, right? Or the East Indies, whatever.
I mean, yeah.
And you knew you didn't find it, but you still call the people Indians. Because you were that just, you guys aren't from there? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you are. Like that's how condescending.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
And
you're
so,
Indian.
Yeah, like, no, I got it. You
too
are.
bad
you're still Indian. Like, what? And it stuck. That's the worst part. How'd that stick? And we still see it. Like,
Can we? What do American Indians? What do they prefer to be called?
I think
Native
American is
because sometimes it's
just what could possibly be wrong with Native American. Like, I
don't
actually
know.
think you could say African American and people could be like, "Oh no," but like Native American, like all we're saying is you were here first.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, some people, want to be called Indians for whatever reason. I don't know.
Do they?
I would like.
I've never heard that. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I've just never heard that.
It kind of switches. Yeah. So I would like to know what people prefer, or if they prefer to be
hold
called
on.
by the tribe of where they're from.
Now that's who I really want to talk to is the Native American that's a freaking Seminole in Florida who wants to be called an Indian. That makes I can't put my head around. I can't wrap my head around that.
Right.
Why do you want to be called something you're not at all? Never
I don't
were.
know.
You know what I mean? I'm not asking you. I'm not saying. I just find that really interesting.
I legit can only say I don't know because I would say that would be like, whoa, that's weird. Why would you want to be called that? And then they have a legitimate reason for wanting to be called something.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. That I would love to hear that reason.
Yeah.
I did kind of want to just get into the. Could you do this? Could you leave? I mean, I can't leave
like
fucking
Interstellar
Minnesota.
shit?
Yeah,
like
I have a
McConaughey
problem.
Shit?
But now with my nephew born especially, like I can't move to California or something, which I would love to, or just anywhere warm. I would love to get out of here. I'm too attached to in that way. And then you broaden it out to, friends and just my lifestyle, like just day-to-day food. I mean, literally drinking, just the things that I like that I enjoy with my friends and stuff. Not only would you not have your friends, but you wouldn't have those things either. Like now, and there's another thing. How much are they smuggling onto this thing? That would be a tough thing to do, to smuggle anything onto a spaceship. But somebody's getting a flask out of that bitch. Like somebody's getting something on there, right?
I'm sure they get.
Or they're going to figure out how to brew up there or something, or ferment fruit.
I bet they've thought of just what everything, and I bet just what everything is covered. I'm not kidding. I mean, they probably have just what everything to experiment, test, grow, plant, whatever.
You would think that, too, actually. Part of the whole whole point of it would be to go up there and see what you can do and what the atmospheric conditions do to so-and-so.
I mean, you would hope that at some point, you don't want a fucking drunk person up there planting a colony, but at some point you want them to have a little bit of freedom.
They're going to distill some shit. They're going to have sex, and you're going to have a bunch of kids on Mars going, What are we doing?
Anyone looks good after a while.
What happens if they do?
Oof, I would go crazy. My mind is not strong enough to be alone for that long. And by alone, I mean with 4 people. I'm not mentally.
Is that
strong
how it
enough.
is too? Is it pods, like 5 pods or something they're setting up? Or is it going to be one big ship?
I think it's one ship with the 4 people on it.
But it's 24.
No. Oh, no, it's 4 people.
So it's 24 finalists to get it down to...
And then 4 initially are going up. And there might be another plan 10 years,
Maybe
5
that's
years
it.
later
Okay, yeah.
is to
So
have...
It says 24 people to be selected to
Sure.
colonize Mars.
Sure. But initially, they're going to narrow it down to 4 people to go up as the first. And there might be immediate plans for 24 within the, whatever. But
Do they have Wi-Fi?
I would assume that
They
they
have
have
some
internet. Yes, Jason.
But I mean,
Wi-Fi?
on Mars. What if they're facing the wrong way? I don't know.
I think, yeah. I
No,
think
you could have a satellite that would always
yes,
be facing.
Yes.
How long would that take? If you
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
dial-up, like
we're
that's
really
some
getting into
Well, I'm
it
worried
here.
about the intricacies of these people.
The
in Mars,
International
or on
Space
Mars.
Station, who knows where that is actually? Where is
You
the
can
International
see it
Space Station?
sometimes.
It actually just crossed over Arizona when I was there, and I forgot to look at it.
Well, it just looks like a star, doesn't it? I believe
it
I've
looks
seen
like
it
a
before.
satellite, a fast
Or
moving
satellite.
satellite.
Yeah.
My
Could you
mom
do-
was so
okay,
mad.
let's take it down a level. Could you do that? Could you go to the International Space Station for 2 months?
Sure, absolutely.
Wow, no problem.
I'm just kind of scared to die. I'm not really ready to die yet. I kind of like it here. I like living. As much as life sucks sometimes, as we
Oh, that's your genes
We
doing their
bitch
job,
about-
though. You're supposed to want to live.
So I would be shitting my pants terrified to get into a space shuttle. But if I knew that it was going to be safe, that kind of just defeats the whole purpose of space travel. Yes, I would.
There's no knowing it's safe
Yeah.
when it comes to space travel.
I would go to the International Space Station for sure.
Okay, so what's your limit? I think we both are out on Mars. I don't think either one of us are doing Mars.
I'm not. Hey, if I can return,
Yeah, but
after-
Mars is a one-way ticket, so
that's
that
what
one
I'm
we
saying.
know we're not.
I'm
on.
out of there.
Yeah.
I'm out of Mars. No fucking way do I want to die on that red planet.
Now, couldn't we colonize the moon and come back? That's so close.
Well, I don't think that is a viable option because it doesn't have an atmosphere.
Well, right, doesn't have any protection.
Right.
But
And the whole point is that Mars was probably the other planet in our solar system to house life at some point.
well, yeah, there's proof of like rivers or evidence of rivers and whatnot.
Right, and there's more and more coming out all the time. So I think that is a more reasonable place to go than the moon. I mean, the moon has no atmosphere and there's no gravity. I think things are closer. I don't know what the gravity on Mars is like.
Speaking of gravity, we've both seen Gravity, right? You have seen Gravity? the
Yes,
movie?
I've seen gravity.
Does that scare you at all? I mean, and actually,
Yeah,
there
for
is
sure.
so much debris up there without any kind of incident. You know, like that movie is based around like some kind of incident happens or something explodes or a satellite hits a satellite or something. But that there's so much shit just flying around up there. That would actually be the scariest. I would rather be on the moon, I think, than on the International Space Station. I think that'd be safer.
Okay, here we go.
What are you trying to look up?
I looked at the gravity on Mars.
Be more than here, wouldn't it?
It's less.
Is it? I thought it was a bigger planet.
No, I think Mars is smaller. It is 3.711 m/s squared. And Earth is 9.8 and Moon is 1.6.
Square mile. Are these millions of square miles, probably?
No, I don't know. How strong is gravity on Mars? Oh, God. I sound so stupid. Both planets, Earth and Mars, have strong evidence of having undergone climate change in the past. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, that would go if it had water and now it's barren.
Okay, here we go. And the atmospheric pressure on Mars is only a fraction of what it is here on Earth, averaging 7.5 millibars on Mars to over 1,000 here on Earth. So a lot less pressure in the atmosphere. The average surface temperature is lower, ranking at a negative 63 degrees Celsius, or compared to the Earth's balmy 14 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it's always below freezing. That sucks. And the length of a Martian day is roughly the same as here on Earth.
Is it a little more or a little less?
A little more than 24 hours and 37 minutes.
Oh, wow. It's that close. Jeez.
And the length of a Martian year is significantly longer because it's farther away, obviously, from the sun, at 687 days. But one big difference is the gravity on Mars' surface is lower than here on Earth, 62% to be precise. At just 0.38 of the Earth's standard, a person who weighs 100 kilograms on Earth will weigh only 38 kilograms on Mars.
And that ends up actually being bad for your muscles and your bones and stuff, isn't it? Like they tend to fall apart because they don't have the stress they're used to.
I'm assuming that there would be something that their living area does to help.
You'd be taking some kind of supplements probably.
Well,
for your bones
no, I think it probably makes you feel like you're on Earth.
Artificial gravity. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Wherever you're colonizing,
Yes.
you would need that. Well, like when you're in the space station and stuff, they say that your body almost atrophies. I think like your bones because it's going. Hey, we don't need it.
Right.
Like why would we need this? There's no gravity.
I don't
which
think
is fucking amazing, by the way. Just that your body can even do that.
I don't think that the Mars people could go outside. Like I don't think.
No, I don't think.
I think that's kind of like an interior forever, and they probably can get into a rover and go around or something. But I don't think they can ever walk out there. I don't know. Anyway, super fascinating shit.
It's all crazy.
It's nuts. Can you imagine the day that this actually happens? It's gonna. I hope it doesn't.
We're gonna be alive. This is 10 years.
I know.
Jesus. It is going to be crazy. Because,
it's going to happen.
We didn't get to go through the moon stuff. I mean, we did see shuttles take off, which was a big deal during our lives.
We were alive when the...
It was never... Well, we saw the Challenger, and we saw... What was the one that
we saw both
came on the way down coming back?
Oh, man. I
can't remember the name of that
Columbia
one,
or something.
I watched that. I think I watched that one live, and I didn't see the one that everybody watched in school. Like, everybody my age was watching that one in school in 3rd grade or whatever. And I for some reason, wasn't. But I remember just, like, one... Was that... I remember being like...
Well, one of them was within the same year as September 11th.
Yeah,
and it was like...
Because
I remember September 11th happened, and the next year I did my field trip, my middle school field trip or junior high field trip to D.C., and the graves of the astronauts were still fresh at Arlington Cemetery. Fresh sounds weird, but there was still dirt and
grass covered.
It was not. It was still like, oh wow, they just died. So yeah, that was really sad.
No, watching that one come down, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was really sad.
And it's always like that's more expected on a takeoff. That's not expected on the coming back.
Right.
What is Drinkwell? We're leaving Mars for a second. We're coming back.
Back to Earth, man.
We like to drink. That's partially why we call our show the Pubcast.
And partially why we wouldn't go to Mars.
And partially why we wouldn't go to Mars, or we'd be bringing our booze.
Yep.
Bringing our booze and packing our condoms. No, but you saw this, and okay, everyone in the world has come up with a hangover cure, and everyone in the world is looking for one, and everyone in the world dies from hangovers every Monday, or Sunday, or whatever, Saturday, whatever you're drinking, I don't care. And I've gotten to the point where there is no cure. The cure is drink less, drink more water, and stay in bed all day the next day. That's the cure. So you tell me, what's going on?
Okay. I have to burp. Okay, so I was listening to this podcast called Reply All, which I've told you about.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I suggest after you listen to all of our podcasts, continue to listen to them.
Now, yep.
You listen to Reply All and Startup, which is Reply All started from the same company that Startup is from. So Startup is about the podcast company starting called Gimlet Media, similar to our Live and Social, but from the producers of This American Life. So a little bigger than us. Just a little. And then Reply All is the first podcast on Gimlet Media, and it's a podcast about the internet. It's pretty fantastic. Just examines all different types of weird shit that we do and things that have happened. Anyway, that is one of their advertisers. And I've now bought 3 different things from podcast advertisers. Isn't that cool?
Yes, we just need some of these people to come our way and advertising and shopping. But
I'm going to put it out there to our advertisers that are listening. I buy stuff from the podcast that I listen to because I trust Mark Maron, and I bought some of the underwear that he advertises on his show. MeUndies.
MeUndies, yep.
So
I've heard
great.
Corolla does ads for those too.
So great. Yeah. Wearing them right now.
Wow.
So soft.
Oh, this is weird when I hear on a podcast that they're wearing MeUndies too. I think I've heard Rogan talk about that too. Very odd. Very odd.
It's great. Well, Mark Maron says it. He's like, I'm wearing them right now. And then I heard about Drinkwell on Reply All, and it's a vitamin supplement with weird shit like artichoke hearts and I don't know, probably vitamin B or whatever. You can look it up. I can find it. But developed by two very smart sounding people with doctorates. So I was like,
very smart
there you
sounding
go.
people, at least.
And you take 3 of them before you take your first drink, and they come in like 90 capsules per bottle, so it's pretty big.
Okay. And you take how many when?
You take 3 before you drink.
Jesus.
And then here's the catch. You take 3 after you're done drinking.
And that's the part that I never can do.
But
once I'm to the point where I'm going to be so hungover tomorrow, I'm blackout. Like, I don't care what I'm...
You don't think... See, I'm pretty... I'm a pretty proactive person when they're blacked out.
Do you have the water, and do you have the Tylenol, and do you have it all, like, set out?
For sure. If I'm not a total wreck, definitely. I definitely will go and, like, get my water, and I will chug my water. So I'm pretty proactive. I feel like if I were to have my water out I let my dogs out when I'm blacked out, and they don't ever run away.
Right, they make it back every morning. They're still there.
I bring them outside, and they go to the bathroom, and they come back in all safe. And I put on my pajamas generally, so that's like a whole nother thing. And sometimes I even get my retainer in my mouth.
Jeez.
So I feel like I would be really good about getting drink well. So you take 3 after you're done drinking, and then supposedly it stops the hangover. I'm pulling up the ingredients right now. Acai berry, of course, goji berries, artichokes green tea, milk thistle, biotin, vitamin B7, folic acid, copper, magnesium. Anyway, it's specially formulated to help liver functions and to help energy and to help get some of the lost shit, like the electrolytes. Replenishes and detoxifies all at once. So I'm going to get bombed and test this out.
Now, you only take them when you're drinking. I thought it was a daily multivitamin.
I think you probably could. I mean, it looks like most of the stuff in here can be.
Because for me, a daily multivitamin where I just take it every day or 5 days a week or something, and then I don't have to think about when I'm drinking or when I'm not drinking, that would be ideal.
Right. It says it's a multivitamin for healthy people who drink alcohol. Help replenish nutrients, support healthy liver function, help your body process alcohol-induced toxins. That's kind of cool. I wouldn't replace it with your multivitamin.
No. Have you heard of Rescue Water?
No. So they say here you don't take it every day. You take 1 serving of drink before you drink, and 1 before you go to bed.
Okay. Now that makes more sense to me. But it's the after drinking part, because that's Rescue Water, which I've tried a couple of times lately. The first time I did it, I did do it correctly. I drank 1 while drinking and then drank another one after drinking, right before bed.
Yeah.
And that did help. Now,
okay.
you still feel the hangover, and I bet, like, if you get hammered especially, you're going to still feel hungover the next day.
Sure.
To me, it's degree. Can I get up and take a shower and brush my teeth and say I can still have a day, or am I so hungover that I'm not moving? I can barely reach to get my glasses to look at my phone. Like,
sure.
And to me, if you can at least get me to where all I need is that shower and a bite to eat and I'm ready to go, that's good enough. I don't have to be perfect in the morning. Although, hey, of course I'd take that.
Okay, that's kind of fun. I feel like my hangovers were actually worse in college, and that might have been because I was drinking more shots. Wow, it just got really moody in here.
Really got romantic.
Hey, what's up? Because I used to do just straight fucking shots of vodka, and and I was probably eating gluten.
Straight shots of vodka. What is wrong with you?
I was in college.
But I don't think I ever took straight shots of vodka in all of my youth.
And not even vodka. Cheap vodka.
Was it worse than Carco?
Well, it was the Iowa equivalent, which is called Hawkeye vodka.
If it's a bird, anytime an animal is involved with your vodka, that's hangover city.
Barton's, or like we call it Lady B's, Barton's vodka, Kharkov, Car Crash, Hawkeye. Anyway, so my hangovers have gotten a little bit better, unless I've gotten so drunk at some weddings, off a mixture of things, champagne, and it's when you start mixing the shit.
Yep.
Oh my God. But most of the time I can function, but I'm a little anxious and a little shaky, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to do anything. I'm not as productive as I like to be, but I can still get out of bed. But you sound like you have the worst fucking hangovers ever, so I want you to try it.
Once I hit 30, it was literally it's like flipping a switch. I mean, you go from again, like my hangovers throughout my 20s were what I said the first time, where I just need to take a shower. And I used to be a car inspector outside in the winter on days like this, and I had to be there at 7:30 in the morning, and I'd be out till 3 o'clock drinking.
I couldn't do that though. I won't do that.
I was working 2 jobs, going to school and partying every night.
I might say my hangovers aren't that bad, but at the same time, I'm very cautious about when and how much I drink if I have something to do the next day.
Well, I just don't anymore. Now, if I
that's
have something I
what
have
I'm
to do
saying.
tomorrow, no drinking. There is no drinking.
I'll drink, but I'm not going to go like
2
ham.
beers. Yeah, no, it's 2 beers. And that's, I've gotten to the point now where if I have 4 of the wrong beers, I'm hungover. 4.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I do drink strong beers, but I'm not even talking like double IPAs. I'm talking like these hop dishes. Sometimes I drink 4 of these, and I wake up the next day and I'm like, it's not like dead,
God.
but yeah, it's so funny because I'll never forget when being 12 years old and going like, "Hey, Dad, why don't you drink?" And he goes, "I don't drink anymore because I can't." Like he would want to die the next day. One beer,
God, really?
1 beer, yeah.
What is
And we're
wrong with
talking.
you guys?
This is in the 80s, or 90s, so he's drinking Coors Light or something, and it was he was a
What is just
wreck.
wrong with your family?
Well, there's alcoholism. That's the first part. But you'd
but
think the hangovers would
alcohol-
be able to get us away from that at some point.
Yeah, right?
God tried. On that note, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap it up here on the podcast.
Hi, I'm Terry Daniel, and I've been a voice actor in Minneapolis for over 2 decades now. How often are you getting compliments on your voice? Now is the time to do something about it. If you're interested in getting into voiceovers, please contact me via my website at universalvoicetalent.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Alyssa.
And this is Liz.
And we're with The Focus Radio,
where our focus is to bring you resources to grow your business and double your income.
Join us on Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m. Central Time. TheFocusRadio.com.
And we're back. It's the podcast.
Great song.
Great song. Thanks for your
Great song.
consent. And I know you still can't hear yourself. Give me 1 second. I'll get this all figured out. A couple minutes left here on the old Minnesota podcast. Obviously we've been talking movies for weeks and weeks and weeks now.
Forever.
It's finally this Sunday. The Oscars.
It's this Sunday.
Oh, so now I'm going to watch Nightcrawler, which I know didn't really get too many nominations or anything, but I'm going to watch that one soon. What else do I need to see? Whiplash.
Yeah, you got to see it.
I really want to see that one. What else do I need to see?
I have a lot to see still.
Well, you haven't seen Birdman yet, have you?
No, I've been kind of waiting for that to come in our mail.
Okay.
Like we have it on our Netflix queue, and by our I mean my roommate and mine. Just FYI for anyone who's wondering, I'm not married. I don't live with anyone.
It's not you and the
significant.
kids.
It's not me and the kids. But Emily and I do have a Netflix queue. And
when does it come out? I mean, it doesn't come out till March, right?
I mean, she said, I don't know. I thought she said it was coming up soon.
And that's really weird. I don't know how she looked it
I feel
up.
like I've said that a lot tonight. I don't know.
Stop accusing me. Stop yelling at me. But I feel like I looked up last week you mentioned that she was going to get it, and I was like, on Netflix already? So I searched Birdman and nothing came up. It didn't even say titles related to. You know what I mean?
Maybe not. But I'm trying to think of what else we have to see. I mean, there's a lot I haven't seen yet, Jason.
I know.
I'm really falling behind.
I feel like I'm ahead of you, and that's bad.
Oh, The Imitation Game is on our Netflix queue as well.
I do want to see that one, too.
You know,
I've heard people say it's going to be just like a blah movie. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I do want to see The Theory of Everything because...
That's the one I think is blah.
Here's the thing. With these kind of British period pieces, they always do really well.
What do you mean?
At
Box
the Oscars,
office? Or,
at the Oscars. They always, like King's Speech. Actually, really great movie. I love Colin Firth. It was a fascinating movie. But should it have won Best Picture?
Probably.
I don't know. And I feel
and
like...
it was a good movie, you're right.
I feel like The Theory of Everything and Imitation Game, they're going to be... I'm going to enjoy them. I'm not going to enjoy them. Am I going to be blown away and am I not going to know what to expect? No.
Yeah.
I know what to expect from those movies. And they're going to be really great British actors with lots of oak-stained sets.
And smarmy comedy and dry humor, and that's what we love about British movies, so that's okay.
Sure.
All right, well, that's Sunday, so watch them with us. Not literally, but watch them as well.
You're not invited.
You can come over.
Nope,
I live in South
can't.
St. Paul. My address... No, I'm kidding. But that's it for the Pubcast. We're running out of time. We will see you next week, and we will wrap up the Oscars. You know what? Maybe we'll even get Rusty Gatenby to join us. How does that sound? We'll do that next week right here on the Pubcast.
Rusty.
Bye-bye.